All right, guys, this is a recording, but we just had a unit test. So we have finished unit 4, and I just want to, just like we do anytime, I want you guys to assess yourself, see where you are. How are you feeling as we head into our very last unit? How do you feel? Are you, 1, feeling great, ready to keep moving? 2, you never got around to taking your unit 4 test, or you need to retake your unit 4 test? Are you 3, I'm not sure, I don't check my grades, yikes. Are you 4, I'm behind, missing my quizzes and did not watch the recordings assigned last week, or did not attend the live sessions last week? And then 5, are you both 2 and 4? So kind of assess where you are. You don't need to tell me or anything like that, but just kind of do a self-assessment to see where you are. All right. And if you need more time, please pause it and go back. But today we are in lesson 1, populations. I think lesson 2 is going to be a second video because I think it's just going to be too long. But in this recording, we're going to watch lesson 1. So I can describe the differences between populations, communities, ecosystems, and biomes. You can understand that populations grow exponentially unless a limiting factor intervenes. And then 3, you can describe 5 social behaviors in a population and give examples of each. So that's probably going to be in video number 2. So first off, we are talking about the Earth as a whole. We like to split things down to make them easier to talk about. We're going to address individuals today. We're going to address population. We're going to address community. Talk a little bit about ecosystems, but not necessarily about biome and biosphere today. So let's talk about what a population is. Individuals, they make up a population. So by definition, which I hope you have your notepad out and you're writing this down, by definition, a population is a single species that lives in a common area at a particular time and place. So a pack of wolves right here, they all live together in the same time and same place. A parliament of owls, a school of fish, a murder of crows. So all individuals that make up a population. Again, we've talked about this, like a squirrel that lives in my backyard would not be the same squirrel that lives in John's backyard, who lives 50 plus miles. They would not be the same population. Okay, they all have to be in the same place, same time together to be a population. So that is the physical definition. So populations then go on to make up a community. And here is the definition of community. All the populations that interact with each other in a particular area and time. So here's a desert community. We're looking at bugs, at birds, a cactus, a bunny. All of these populations are going to interact together to make up a community. Same with the rainforest. You got a panda, you got some kind of cat here, a cheetah here. All of these individuals, all of these populations are going to interact together to make up a community. All right. And so then a community is going to make an ecosystem. So an ecosystem is a biological community, all of the populations interacting together and their physical environment. So the thing that makes ecosystem a little bit different is you got all the populations interacting together, which is what a community is. But with an ecosystem, you're also involving the physical environment. And what I mean by the physical environment, I mean air temperature, the weather. Is it raining? Is it snowing? Is it hot? Is it humid? The pH of the water if it's a aquatic environment, the temperature of the water if it's an aquatic environment. So the physical environment is playing a role in the ecosystem. The physical environment never played a role in the population and never played a role in the community. Now we're seeing it in ecosystem, okay? So how does a population grow? Well, a population is going to grow exponentially. Here's an example of population size on the left and time on the bottom. And as time moves on, population grows exponentially. And this occurs because the individuals of a population are going to reproduce. Then their offspring reproduce. And then the offspring of the offspring reproduce, and so on, creating this exponential curve here of population growth. So how does exponential growth actually work? So let's talk about it in terms of algae. Now, exponential works with any living thing. It works for humans, it works for dogs, it works for cats, it works for fish, it works for any living thing, trees, all that good stuff. But let's specifically talk about algae. So I'm going to start with 2 algae cells. So here are 2 algae cells. These 2 algae cells are going to reproduce. When they reproduce, we get 4 algae cells because each algae cell is going to reproduce, give us 1 individual. So that's 4. Then the 4 algae cells reproduce, you have 8. Then 8 algae cells reproduce and you have 16. Eventually you get 600 cells become 1200. Then 1200 cells become 2400. Then 2400 cells become 4800 cells, and then eventually becomes a algae smorgasbord like this, okay? So that is how exponential growth works. Think about it as multiples of 2. All right. Can this exponential growth continue to go on forever? Think about something that could eventually stop the exponential growth, this growth. Think about it. And if you need more time to think about it, go ahead and pause this recording, because this will eventually stop growing. Population growth will eventually stop growing. And the thing that will prevent it from growing would be limiting factors. Now, what are limiting factors? Limiting factors are food availability, how much habitat's available, any predators, any disease. They are what keeps a population in check. And so every single environment, any environment you can think of, has a finite amount of resources. I mean, resources don't go on forever. At some point, resources will run out, or there will not be enough for everybody to survive. And this usually limits the population's growth, and it brings it to a level called the carrying capacity. And that carrying capacity is represented or abbreviated by a capital K. So here's the definition of carrying capacity. Put that in your notes. Carrying capacity, the amount of a population the environment can hold. So when a population reaches carrying capacity, nobody can reproduce, because we've hit that point. Can't do any more. So eventually the limiting factors force the exponential growth to reach its carrying capacity. So what we're saying here is that the population is going to hit this K point. Let's call this point right here the K. And once it reaches that carrying capacity, you're going to see it level off like this. A lot of times though, with a population, you won't necessarily see a straight line. You'll see it go up and down like this. Once it reaches that carrying capacity, you'll see a lot of that. All right, so that is what carrying capacity will look like. So here's a better picture of carrying capacity, maybe. There we go. Here's a better picture of carrying capacity. So you have the exponential growth going up, and then it reaches that carrying capacity, and then it goes straight across. So when you see that straight line at the top, that population has reached its carrying capacity. Okay, so that is the end of lesson 1 for Unit 5, Ecology and the Environment. So please watch the second video, and I will go through lesson 2, Social Behaviors.